Hi everyone, thank you for joining our video today. Today's training is going to be how to work an open lead. So if you saw our first video, it goes over how to create a brand new lead that does not exist anywhere in the system. This video kind of goes over what's usually probably going to happen. This is a lead that you either got from a website, from a paid referral, maybe a lead that was entered in and showed interest at a sister community. Essentially any lead that's already in the system, but none of the community interests have been converted yet. So the third basically avenue for a lead is a lead that is created but converted. That's going to be our third video in the series of lead options. So first, it's the leads that are brand new. So a brand new lead you would add from the home page. And again, the other video goes over that. Today's video is going to be on an open lead, so a lead that's been created, but none of the community interests have converted. And then the last video, the one after this, is on leads that have been converted and what to do with those. So without any further ado, let's do a search for this lead. So whether the lead told us that he or she came in, whether we got a link to our email from a paid referral or something, first thing we want to do is get to the lead page. So let's use the example that I used last time. So Steve Eiserman walks into the property, or I get an email saying that Steve Eiserman exists. What do I do with it? I'm going to do a search for the name. Always do a search for the lead name. What I would do is type in the name and hit enter. I would not start playing the game of trying to decide where to go from here unless you see the person's lead name here. But what I always like to do is just do a search and then hit enter. That way I can see everything all on one page. So I see, hey, Steve Eiserman has one community interest and he has one lead. Instead of going into this community interest that already exists here, so let's say that this is for a different community than mine, right? So let's say I work at Brighton Valley, but he's at, fake community name here. I don't want to go in and work somebody else's community interest. So I would go straight to his lead page and I would create my own community interest. Conversely, if you do a search for Steve and there is a community interest for your property already, all you have to do is click into that and all the work's been done for you. So whether it was from a paid referral being created or a website lead, it's relatively easy. I said in the last video, this is the perfect world where everything gets created for you. All you have to do is click into that community interest. Conversely, like I said though, if this person already exists because they showed interest at another community, you would start off with their lead page and you would go in and add your own community interest there. So I would click into Steve Eiserman, the lead page. You can see here it's under the lead section. And it's going to take me to my lead page where it pulls in all the information that has either come in automatically from a website or was entered by one of your colleagues at a sister community. So somebody was nice enough to enter all this information for me. You see that there's a community interest for their property already. What you're going to do is you're going to add your own community interest, again, if it doesn't exist. If yours is already in the list, you'll just pick that up and work that from now on. But I'm going to add my own. I'm going to click Add New here. And you'll look for your community name. We only have the fake one set up here in the test database. So I'm going to pick this and act as if this was a different community. So let's say that this is my community here. I'm going to hit save and finish. And what it's going to do is it's going to add that to my list of community interests. So it's going to add that to the top, and you can just click into there, and now all of a sudden you have your own community interest. And what's cool about it is it fills out all of the information on the community interest using this autofill based off of what somebody else did before you. So if you use the autofilled field or button there, it'll show you all of the other community interests. And if you click in there and hit next, it'll ask you, hey, do you want to use any of the information that was used prior by the last community specialist or what was brought over from the website? So basically it'll say, hey, the current value shows this. Do you want to copy that over? Do you want to copy this over? So you can literally copy paste anything that you want to pull over from the old way or delete if anything's showing up. So the new value is what it's going to show up on your side of things, and then the current value is what it shows on the other community interest. And you'll just hit next and it'll pre-fill all this information that the other person did for you, which is awesome. I'm not going to spend too much time on the community interest page just because we have another video that actually goes over this process. This is where you're going to be spending most of your time for leads. So once your lead is created, you'll see here the lead will be the parent of the community interest. That's why it's ahead of it there. So to get back to your lead page, you can click there on the community interest. There's also a link to Steve Eiserman, the lead. So if I go back to that, you can see that this is an open community interest. So when it's open, it basically says I can add new community interests from here. As you can see, there's not much to do on the lead page except add community interest. So unless you're on a lead page to add a new community interest, there's really nothing you're going to be doing on this lead page. So most of your leads, you're going to go straight to the community interest page on. This is just kind of holding on to additional community interest that might be associated to it. It helps us from the administrative side report on leads as a whole, basically what's going on across all communities. But again, when you have a lead that exists, you'll find them, you'll go to their lead page, you'll see that it's an open interest. And at that point, you'll have the ability to add a new community interest if yours does not exist. And then the rest of the time, you're going to work that community interest page. If you have any questions on the community interest section, please watch that video in our series. If you get to the lead and it's a converted community interest, please watch our next video that goes over the third of the three options for an actual lead in the system. So again, we had a video going over how to add a brand new lead. Today's video on what to do with a lead that is in the system with open community interest. And then the third one going over converted leads and what to do with a converted lead. So if you have any questions, guys, please check out the videos, check out the documentation, or send an email to appsupport@sig.com. Thank you.